Welcome back to another deep dive wrap-up of This Week in Techstination for February 7th, 2025. I'm Fred Fishkin. This is a podcast created and hosted by Google's Notebook LM. The voices and content are AI-generated from this week's Techstination reports and interviews. Now, one thing Notebook LM got wrong here has to do with a link on the Techstination site to a snippet from an interview I did with Robin Williams. It was when he was launching a new program on Audible, and Techstination was named Bootcamp back then. His take on the name was very funny.
You've never held a hard drive. Many of you have never moved a mouse and downloaded a file. Drop down and give me 50 megabytes. Do you know what NVIDIA is? No, sir. Sir, I work for a living. Work with me. First of all, you download quick, then you move joystick, sound off, make it go. You don't know you've been alive. Come on now, download hard drive, sound off, move it round. Come on now and be obscene. Get away from that flat screen. Sound off. First of all, my name is Sergeant Cyber. You will learn to work with files. Yes, sir. What did you say? YesSir.com. That's it, boy. You don't realize you've been out there for a long time. This is louder than anybody you've ever heard. I can't hear you. Yes, sir. What is your name? Don't ask, don't tell. Shut up now. Work with me.
See what I mean? But Notebook LM assumed he was referring to Apple's Bootcamp software, which was years away. So that aside, here's this week's Techstination wrap-up for the week.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. We're checking out Techstination today.
Oh yeah, I've seen that site.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got all these tech reviews and interviews by a correspondent named Fred Fishkin. And, he covers like everything. Apple, Samsung,
Right.
AI, robotics, exoskeletons even. There's a cool story about Robin Williams, too.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so lots to cover today. Should be a fun ride.
Definitely a good mix for a deep dive.
All right, well, let's just jump right in. Okay, so February is Heart Month.
Right.
And Techstination has some timely interviews with a couple of Apple Fitness Plus trainers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Sam Sanchez and Jamie Ray Hartshorn.
I know those guys.
Yeah, they had some good advice about how to stay motivated with fitness, especially during these cold winter months.
Yeah, it's so hard to get going when it's like freezing and dark outside.
I know, but these guys didn't just say find something you enjoy.
Right.
Which is like what everyone always says.
Yeah.
So what did they actually recommend for finding stuff you like? I mean...
Well, they both talked about how it's important to try new things, and don't be afraid to just sort of step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But they also said, you got to adapt to activities you already enjoy so you can do them in the winter.
Oh, that's smart.
Like if you're a runner, maybe try an indoor track, or like one of those treadmill classes.
Yeah.
Or if you like to hike, try indoor rock climbing, or, even snowshoeing.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all about being creative and finding ways to stay active, even when it's like yucky outside.
Yeah, for sure. It's so easy to think of exercise as like a chore.
I know.
And these guys are really encouraging us to think outside the box a bit.
Definitely.
All right, well, let's switch gears to a story that really caught my eye. Exoskeletons.
Whoa.
Yeah, like the real deal. Walking, stair climbing.
Not just the sci-fi stuff.
Exactly, not the sci-fi stuff. So, Techstination, they introduced us to this company, Human in Motion.
Okay.
And they're the ones building these motion exoskeletons.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, and they're designed specifically for wheelchair users.
Wow.
And they even interviewed Chloe Angus. She's the director of lived experience at Human in Motion.
Okay.
And she actually uses the exoskeleton herself.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it's really interesting to hear her perspective,
Yeah.
to be able to experience that kind of freedom and mobility
Yeah.
after relying on a wheelchair.
It must be incredible.
Absolutely. So what really stood out to you from her interview?
Well, she really emphasized the feeling of independence that the exoskeleton gives her. She talked about how she can do things that she couldn't do before.
Right.
Activities that were just out of reach,
Yeah.
And she even mentioned how it changed how she interacts with people.
Oh, wow. How so?
Well, like being able to make eye contact on a different level
Oh, interesting.
and feeling more present in social situations. So it's not just about the physical walking. It's like,
Right.
it's emotional and social too.
Yeah, for sure. But I gotta wonder about, like, the accessibility of this kind of technology.
Oh, yeah.
Exoskeletons are super expensive.
Yeah.
And I imagine insurance is a nightmare.
Right.
So it makes you think about, like,
Yeah.
who has access to these life-changing advancements,
Absolutely. And it's something we need to talk about more and more as this technology becomes, more common.
Definitely. Okay, well, speaking of pushing boundaries,
Yeah.
Samsung's new flagship S25 phones are causing a stir.
Those are hot right now.
Yeah, and Techstination highlighted the new button they added specifically for Google's Gemini AI.
Right, and Samsung's Bixby, too.
Oh, yeah, Bixby too, of course.
I mean, it seems like AI is just becoming such a big part of how we use our phones.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's more than just voice assistants, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, think about the camera.
Oh, right.
AI is being used to improve image quality, recognize scenes and objects, and even suggest the best settings for taking pictures. It's like having a little photography expert right there in your pocket.
Totally.
But what I think is really interesting is how AI is changing how we search for information.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, instead of just typing in keywords, we can ask complex questions using, natural language.
Oh, wow.
And the AI understands what we mean and gives us personalized results.
That's crazy.
Like, imagine asking your phone, what were the top news stories this week?
Right.
Or find me a recipe using what I have in my fridge.
Wow.
That's the power of AI.
Amazing.
It's like you're having a conversation with your phone instead of just giving it commands.
Right.
And this is just the beginning. I'm excited to see what happens next with AI.
Me too.
Okay, but let's not forget about another kind of robot that's becoming, pretty advanced.
Okay, what is it?
Robotic vacuum cleaners.
Oh, yeah.
Techstination covers the Saros Z70.
Okay.
It's a new model from Roborock, and it's packed with innovation. Yeah, so what's really innovative is the navigation system. Instead of using LiDAR, which is that laser thing a lot of robot vacuums use, the Saros Z70 uses cameras.
Oh, wow.
So it sees and maps your home.
Like we do.
Exactly.
Like we do.
So instead of bouncing lasers off the walls, it's like processing images.
Right, exactly.
That's cool.
And Roborock says that this makes it way better at navigating,
Yeah.
especially in complicated spaces.
Makes sense.
But what really sets this vacuum apart is its robotic arm.
Wait, hold on.
You know,
A
right.
robotic arm.
A robotic arm. This is next level stuff.
What does it do?
Well, it lets the vacuum pick up stuff off the floor.
Oh, wow.
Like small things.
Okay.
So not just sucking up dirt, but like tidying up.
So it can move like toys and stuff.
Yeah, like toys, socks, you name it.
That's pretty cool.
It's like a little robot helper.
Right. It makes you wonder if we're going to have like robot butlers soon.
I know. Zipping around our homes,
Yeah.
keeping everything spotless. What do you think? Is that the future of cleaning?
Well, it could be. AI and robotics are just getting better and better. So I think we can expect to see even more capable machines.
Yeah.
But, will they fully replace humans?
Who knows?
I guess only time will tell.
For sure.
But it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Definitely.
Okay, so before we get too carried away dreaming about robot butlers,
Okay.
let's move on to some other quick hits from Techstination.
Yeah, let's see what else is out there.
Okay, so we're moving into the quick hits now,
All right, sounds good.
like a rapid fire round of tech innovation.
I like it.
So first up, we've got something for all those Apple Watch users,
Oh,
the ones who are always losing their chargers.
Oh, yeah, that's me for sure.
So Nomad has released this universal cable for Apple Watch, and it's designed to like really simplify charging.
Oh, that's awesome, especially if you're always on the go.
Exactly.
Or if you've got a bunch of devices to charge.
Yeah, totally.
What else is there?
Okay, next up we have something that could be, really helpful,
You okay?
especially if you've ever had to deal with those health insurance denials.
Ugh, don't remind me.
I know, it's the worst. But there's this AI tool called Counterforce Health, and it's designed to help you appeal those denials.
Really?
Yeah, like it helps you navigate that whole process.
Wow, because that can be so confusing.
I know. It's so time-consuming and stressful.
Definitely.
So I think this could be a game changer for people who don't have the resources or like the know-how.
Yeah, to fight those denials on their own.
Exactly. It could really level the playing field.
Right, and give people more power.
Yeah, definitely. This is something I'm going to have to check out.
Me too.
Okay, what else do we have?
All right, this one's interesting, especially with all the video calls these days.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know how everyone's getting Zoom fatigue?
Ugh, tell me about it.
Well, there's this new platform called
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's supposed to make online presentations and meetings more engaging.
Okay, I'm listening. Anything to make Zoom less boring.
Right. So basically, it creates more dynamic presentations. Thing that like interactive elements, visuals, the whole experience is supposed to be more immersive.
So they're trying to take those virtual meeting tools to the next level.
Yeah, exactly.
Because most of them are pretty basic.
I know, right?
I'm all for anything that can make online communication more interesting.
For sure.
Okay, now for something completely different.
Okay, hit me.
SOBR Safe.
What's that?
It's a wearable alcohol detection device.
Whoa, hold on.
I know, right?
A wearable alcohol detector?
Yeah.
What's that for?
Well, it's being marketed as a workplace safety tool.
Okay.
Like for industries where drinking could be dangerous.
Right, like construction.
Exactly, or transportation, manufacturing, stuff like that.
Makes sense.
The idea is to prevent accidents,
Yeah, keep everyone safe.
Right. And it should potentially save lives.
Definitely a good use of wearable tech.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what else?
All right, last but not least,
All right.
a book recommendation.
Oh, cool. I love those.
Yeah, so Fred Fishkin himself recommends Inevitable. It's by Mike Callias.
Okay.
He's a reporter for the Wall Street Journal.
All right.
And the book is all about the shift to electric vehicles.
Oh, wow. That's timely.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Given all the hype around EVs.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear his take on it.
Totally. It's such a big, complex issue. Like the technology, the environment, the economy.
The politics, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A whole deep dive into EVs could be fascinating.
Speaking of fascinating.
Oh, right.
That story about Robin Williams?
Yeah.
So what was the connection with Techstination again?
Well, it turns out that Robin Williams did an interview with Techstination back in 2000.
Wow, that's a while ago.
And during the interview, he just came up with the name Boot Camp.
Okay, so here's where Notebook LM made some incorrect assumptions. When we interviewed Robin Williams, it was for his new Audible program, and our program at the time was called Boot Camp, and he had a lot of fun with the name. You can listen to his riff on our Techstination site. But Notebook LM made some assumptions that this had to do with Apple's Boot Camp. It has nothing to do with that. Let's continue on.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like Apple's Boot Camp software?
Uh-huh.
The one that lets you run Windows on a Mac?
That's the one.
No way.
Yeah, he was just riffing, and the name just popped out.
And they actually used it.
Apparently so.
That is wild. So Robin Williams had a hand in naming that software.
It seems like it.
Wow, that's incredible. It just goes to show you, even in tech,
Yeah.
where everything seems so planned out, there's
Yeah.
still room for like those unexpected moments of brilliance.
Definitely. And it makes you think,
Yeah.
how many other everyday things have these hidden stories behind them?
Right. It's like there's always more to the story.
For sure.
It's kind of a bittersweet story, though.
Oh, yeah.
The article mentioned how sad it was when he passed away.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been that long.
I know. He was such a talent.
Definitely one of a kind.
All right. Well, let's take a moment to appreciate his legacy.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we covered a lot of ground today in the world of tech.
We did.
Heart health, AI-powered phones, robotic vacuum cleaners.
Don't forget Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah. And that surprising Robin Williams connection.
It's been quite a journey.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Techstination,
Yeah.
what are your final thoughts? What really stood out to you?
It really is amazing how much tech has changed our lives.
I know. And we've seen some pretty cool examples today from Techstination.
For sure.
So what do you think, out of all this, what innovations are going to have the biggest impact in the future?
Well, I think AI and robotics have the potential to really change things up, like how we live and work.
Yeah, like those exoskeletons, they're already making a difference.
Giving people more freedom who have mobility issues.
Exactly. And as that technology gets better, it could be accessible to more people.
More affordable, too.
Imagine the possibilities.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
But it also makes you think about AI, and how it's becoming more and more part of our everyday lives.
Yeah, we got to be careful with that.
Right, as it gets more powerful.
We need to be thinking about the ethics of it all.
Definitely. And the downsides, too.
Like, remember that Sorrow Z70?
The robotic vacuum that picks stuff up.
Yeah, it's convenient and all.
But it also makes you think about jobs,
Like, what happens when robots can do more and more?
Exactly. Are they going to take over all the jobs?
Yeah, it's a real concern.
We got to figure out how to adapt to all this new technology.
Make sure everyone benefits from it.
Not just a few people.
And what about those AI features on the Samsung phone?
It's wild how AI is changing how we use tech, right?
Like, it's not just about convenience anymore.
Right.
AI can make things more personalized,
Yeah.
more efficient, help us make better choices.
But there are also concerns about privacy,
Definitely.
data security, and those algorithms.
Yeah, making sure they're not biased.
It's all so important to think about.
We got to stay informed.
Absolutely. Know what's going on with AI.
Understand how it works, what it can and can't do.
And how it's changing things.
Yeah, it affects everyone.
This deep dive into Techstination has really shown us how fast things are changing.
And how important it is to be a part of that change.
Not just watching it happen. So it's been really fascinating exploring all this stuff today.
It has.
And I think it's pretty clear that tech is only going to become more important in our lives.
Definitely.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into Techstination.
It's been fun.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We talked about everything from heart health to those exoskeletons.
AI-powered smartphones.
And even a cool story about Robin Williams.
Yeah, you can't forget that one.
If you want to stay up to date with all the latest in tech,
Definitely check out Techstination.
and Fred Fishkin's Smart Driving Cars podcast, too,
They're great resources.
for anyone who wants to learn more.
And stay ahead of the game.
And remember, technology is a powerful tool
But we got to use it wisely.
for good and ethically.
Really. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and until next time.
Stay curious.
Thanks for listening to our Notebook LM created wrap-up of This Week in Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin.